now they're just going to wait to get to the line as we have a look at the starting grid.
Starting grid, pole position with a new track record for the Supersport class, PJ Jacobsen.
Yep, and then we're going to have Cam Peterson, Matthew Schultz, Ty Scott, Brandon Posh, and Kayla Yakov going to round out row number 2. Then we got Blake Davis, Corey Alexander, a very fast Chase Black this weekend. Really nice to see that. Hobbs, Pegram, and Aiden Sneed are going to be outside row 4. Max Van, Hayes, Torin Collins. How about Jeremy McWilliams, Greg, taking over for Jake Lewis, as you said. He's a little further back. DeLeon LaRoche, Williams, Monk, Maggs, and Horney are in there. And then we're going to get back to that last row. Noah Diedrich and Joel Omen.
All right, so 18 laps scheduled in this race as we are getting ready to get Motovation Supersport Race number 1 underway.
It's a tricky turn 1, Greg, because it's such a short run to the first turn. So you've got to get things kind of going as quickly as you can here, making decisions on where you want to put your bike for that first turn.
When the lights go off, we're racing. Here we go. Oh, it looked like Cameron Peterson was caught sleeping at the line. The 45, not with a great launch, but the 15 gets it done. But Matthew Schultz has position on the number 1. Nope, it's going to be PJ Jacobsen. This is not what the field wanted to see because PJ...
Oh, Ty Scott gets through on Matthew as well.
Yeah, so Matthew Schultz on this track racing Yamaha R9. Keep in mind, a brand new motorcycle for 2025. And Jay, when you come to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, this is a very complicated racetrack.
Matthew is still behind him, so he's going to have to try to get through on that number 70.
Now, Matthew was a little faster by 0.2 of a second than the Vision Wheel M4X Star Suzuki rider, Ty Scott. But obviously, this is racing, and positions make a difference, so Ty Scott leads the way.
This is all blind coming up over the top. And there's a pass that Matthew's going to go straight to the apex. He's going to slide his way up underneath that 750 of Ty Scott. And Blake Davis now wants to take a shot at the 70 as well.
By that motorcycle.
Yeah, you're going to see on the left-hand side of your screen, these are the kind of creative places that you have to think about making passes. So when you follow a rider for a lap, Greg, is probably with about 6 laps to go, as you see Josh Hayes now goes up underneath Brandon Posh. That's going to be a move for 7th spot. So Brandon went with the leaders early. Now he's going to do everything he can to get on the back of Josh Hayes. And there's Larry Pegram, Greg. He's right on the back of this battle that's there for 7th. He's currently 12th is Larry, so he's 29.4 for the 72. He's right up behind Corey Alexander. You got Teague Hobbs in this group as well. As you can see just up front there, it looked like Aiden Sneed maybe trying to make a pass on Brandon Posh. There it is. So the MV Augusta rider has made his way through. So Aiden also showing some real speed in these last few rounds.
Got Aiden Sneed coming off of WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca with a pair of 7th place finishes, his best. The young rider in the Motovation Supersport class on an MP13 MV Augusta. Just a beautiful machine. When you get to come to a MotoAmerica race and see that motorcycle, it's different looking and it's very Italian. And it is awesome to see Sneed getting after it. But the question is, can the young rider have enough patience, if he's got the pace, to start to chip away at the little lead that the number 4 Josh Hayes has been able to make on that BPR over Cameron Peterson?
Larry's got a good run on Corey Alexander as he pulls out of the draft. You can see the 72 of Pegram. He's going to make that pass on Corey Alexander. So Larry, obviously, with still a lot of speed.
The next rider involved Josh Hayes. He's got a little bit of a gap. And then back to this battle that we saw. So Aiden Sneed has snuck away from Brandon Posh, Larry Pegram, Teague Hobbs.
Pegram's got through on Teague Hobbs, though, now, and now he's going to go after Brandon Posh. Last time we saw Pegram on the 72, he was getting past Corey Alexander. Now he's lining up the same pass on Brandon Posh as they come down in to turn 6 here at the end of that back straightaway. Not quite close enough. Oh, Brandon's in too deep. False neutral. Brandon gets in a little deep, runs off the track. That gave that spot to Pegram.
But sitting down racing, he's been doing cars, and they've been having a good summer, has the worm.
Yeah, you can see there. I can still see Brandon's looking for a gear. Probably just got stuck in between, but for Pegram, exactly right. Try to come up there and wrestle that away. As we see this battle again for 8th place, Pegram has now caught Aiden Sneed.
So here comes Pegram onto the front straightaway. MV Augusta versus Suzuki GSXR 750. Sneed on the brakes into turn number 1. No attack from Pegram.
5 to go this time through.
Blake Davis on the back of his 27.6, his best lap of the race. He goes best lap again for himself, does the 22 on the Strack Racing Yamaha R9 against Ty Scott on the GSXR 750. The difference there, about half a second between these two on the last lap. So In terms of speed at the moment, you would have to say that Blake Davis has the edge. That would go from 5th place to 4th place, Jamie.
For Blake Davis, he's also struggled over the course of this weekend with that new R9 and not having any data on it. And one of the things that they've really picked up on is the fact that they're not able to control as much when the track is real slick. And we haven't been to a track like this at this point in the season. So they're learning a lot from session to session.
Now this battle between the youngest rider, the number 98, and the oldest rider, number 72, getting after it. And here comes Corey Alexander on the 23. Corey Alexander on the Rahal Ducati Moto with roller die informing.
Pegram made the pass on Aiden Steed going down there into turn number 1.
So now 2 laps to go as these two come to the stripe. Another fastest lap of the race for the number 1 of Matthew Skults, a 27 flat. His countryman, Cameron Peterson, goes 127.3, still absolutely ripping.
But when they go through this next left, Cam's going to get held up, I think, just a little bit. See what happens here on the exit of this turn.
Whoa, he's got to turn it with the rear wheel to get position. Up the inside he goes, but Cameron Peterson's barging his way through, and that opens the door for Matthew Skults, so no dramas there.
Cam did a good job in a couple of these very key corners. He's going to put this thing on the grass on the right-hand side. You're going to see here, Greg, if they come in here, right there over that grass, goes his knee. There's no room for Matthew. It's going to be PJ's win.
PJ onto the front straightaway. Jacobson comes across the line with the win, and 2nd place will go to Cam Peterson, 3rd to Skults. And now that battle between Ty Scott, Blake Davis. We're going to see how this goes because Scott had gotten around him. To the line they come, and it's going to be Blake Davis who gets him by 13 thousandths of a second. So Blake Davis with 4th over Ty Scott, and Kayla Yakov at the stripe in 6th. And how about this battle? It's the Worm, the 98 to 23. Pegram looks like he's got position as they come out of the final corner. Twist the grip. Pegram looking for straight up and down, and boom, just like that. A P8 for Pegram, 9th for Sneed, and P10 for Corey Alexander. And welcome back to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. The cool down lap is done and dusted for this guy who just shredded this race. I mean, we were talking about it in the break. If we look at the total race time from last year to this year, I mean, PJ might have been 19, 20 seconds quicker, which is phenomenal. All right, here's the results from the race. Provisionally, as we have PJ Jacobson with the dub, Cameron Peterson able to hold off Matthew Skults for 2nd place, Blake Davis and Ty Scott.
And maybe look at his data and try to find a little more as well.
Yeah, we talked about the 9-point swing at the top of the standings between PJ Jacobson and Matthew Skults after 1st and 3rd, but also a 9-point swing there between Cam Peterson and Tyler Scott as well. And for Cam P, moves himself up into that 4th in the standings. For Scott, step forward over the course of this race, and again we were able to see a run of personal best during that race, but there's a bit of margin for him to make up now for tomorrow.
Yeah, they got a little work to do overnight, and they're going to be able to do that and look at the data and probably go back and rewatch the race and just try to. It's going to be tough to close that whole gap from one night to the next, but if you can just start to chip away at it and try to figure out something that you can move on throughout the season.